Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, fellow insomniacs. Hello. Welcome to episode 76 of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Nice to not hear from you. Nice to have you tuning in. Appreciate it greatly. I am currently exercising my pooches. They are, after getting a healer puppy, knowing that healers have a lot of energy that needs to be expelled. They are, they're a working dog. They're a herding dog. They have to be doing something. So since he's not going to be herding any cattle or anything, I have to do a lot of mental and physical exercise. And he's also a puppy. And so he's extra. Oh my gosh, my cat is. Uh-oh. I think my cat is stuck in a tree, you guys. Ragu. Uh-oh. Oh no, he's not. Okay. That scared me. Yep, he's just trying to get my attention because he wants attention. Anyway, I knew that having a puppy, especially a healer, was going to require a lot of mental and physical activity, and I always promote people doing their homework before they get a dog. Make sure that it fits your lifestyle, make sure that they are a breed that you can handle. And so I knew what I was getting into. But let me tell you, my fiance named him Puck, like Puck, as in the I never saw the movie that it's off of, but apparently it's like a mischievous prankster, kind of a good and bad type of character. And let me tell you, he lives up to it. I've never had a dog that digs and chews, and he is a huge shoe fan. He is not a fashionista. He loves shoes, and he likes to not even necessarily chew on them. He likes to take them by the shoelaces and swing them around and stuff. And then he likes to just kind of lay with them. But then once in a while, he'll chew. But you're constantly trying to find your other shoe. Like I'll go to get a shoe and there's always one missing, or I'll go get my slipper and there's one missing, and he'll drag them out to the yard. That's him panting in the background, by the way. He'll drag them out to the yard all the time. And so there'll be one of my shoes inside and one outside. And it's frustrating because I've never had a dog that does this, and I'm never there to see it. And I always think, okay, is he bored? But I honestly, Scout's honor, I religiously, my fiance and I both religiously exercise him mentally and physically. And when he does this, it'll be when we're home after we've exercised him. Or there's times it's when we're not home, but I have a fenced area in the back. There are a million different types of chew toys, all different types, all different shapes, sizes, textures. And it's a fairly large area for him. And again, we exercise him before we go to work, and we exercise him on our lunch. We exercise him when we get home. Sometimes we can't on our lunch breaks, so then we exercise him before work, but there's always someone here. So when one of us isn't here, there's always somebody else here. So there's always somebody to be able to exercise him. And we exercise him all day long. Like right now, it's my day off. So I exercise him numerous times throughout the day. Again, that's him panting in the background. But let me tell you, I had forgotten when I got my dog Nora. She was the very first puppy I ever had, and I just vowed I would never have a puppy again. But then I got suckered in by cuteness, like I tell people not to do, but I knew what I was getting suckered into. I knew exactly what I was getting into. And I love it. I've been able to teach him. Oh my God, he's incredibly smart. I personally think he's healer and border collie. I don't feel like he's pure healer. He seems a little too lanky and skinny, a little too tall for a healer, and his face seems a little more narrow than a healer. I feel like he's healer, border collie, but he's extraordinarily intelligent, and I have taught him how to do a million things, and he's really fun to work with, and it's awesome to be able to teach him cool tricks and stuff. And so I love every minute of it. But partially what's keeping me up at night is the fact that he really likes to crash at about between 10 and 11 at night. And then he is an early riser and he likes to get up at about 4:30. And that's frustrating because I don't get up until 5:45. And so he's waking me up an hour and 15 minutes sooner than I need to be, and I already don't sleep, hence ramblings of an insomniac. So when I'm asleep, I'm usually in a really deep, good sleep at that time at 4:30. And so when I get woken up, it's really not cool. It's quite frustrating. So my pooch has been keeping me up at night. That's partially what is keeping me up. The other thing that has been keeping me up, oh my gosh, my dogs are like panting like crazy, is being appreciative of the fact that I am, this will be a theme of mine going forward, is trying to be more grateful, but appreciative of my neighbors. My neighbors have stepped in a lot when I have needed them and when I needed their advice or their help. And I just started thinking about neighbors and how important your neighbors are and how important being neighborly is and how important community is. And it's, there's that saying, it takes a village, and it does. I am a 100% introvert, but I absolutely do not mind helping out my neighbors, my friends. I don't mind helping people in need. And, I've said in the past that I don't like it when people can't help themselves. And what I mean by that is, and I've tried to make this clear, and I hope I have, that I have no problem whatsoever with people that need welfare. I've had to be on welfare. I have no problem with getting a helping hand, getting assistance. If you need assistance, 100% you should get assistance. I just don't believe in people staying on it when you're capable of doing for yourself. But assistance is great, and community is important, and it does take a village. It takes a village to come together, and when one person is struggling, another person can help support them, can help pick them up, whether it's bringing them food so they don't have to cook, whether it's help cleaning their house, helping them do errands, and whether it is helping them fix a fence because of a ice storm, babysitting their child, watching their pet, anything to help out. And it just kind of seems that we've become so beaten down and kicked down that we're just not helping each other anymore. We are seeing things through our own eyes and not looking around and paying attention to anything else. Just right now, just stopping for a second, I can hear the birds. Stopping for a second, I can hear my neighbors working on things. Stopping for a second, I can hear some leaves falling. And if we stop for a second and we look at what's going on around us, and we're seeing all the devastation from Mother Nature and seeing the devastation from what our leaders have created, seeing the destruction from what we ourselves have created by being so hateful and evil to each other, We are destroying not only ourselves, but our community, our state, our country, and our planet. It's just sad. So I'm trying to look around and see what I'm seeing. And right now I'm seeing my cat, not in the tree that I thought he was originally stuck in. I have a willow tree that actually got partially knocked down during the ice storm, but it was still had some of its roots. So we propped it back up and it started growing. Well, now he's up in my willow tree. So when you stop and look around, you can see some things that might make you smile, might make you laugh. You might see something that makes you sad. And those things that make you sad, we can't keep burying our heads in the sand. We can't keep hoping that if we don't look around and we don't see it for our own eyes, that means it's not happening. Just because we close our eyes and pretend it's not happening doesn't mean that there is nothing going on in the world that makes us angry and frustrated. And it doesn't mean that if we close our eyes and pretend it doesn't exist, that it doesn't exist. Just like when we accuse someone of something, just because we accuse someone of something doesn't mean it's true. Just because we say that something is our truth, well, that's their truth, that's my truth, doesn't mean that it's truthful, doesn't mean that it's fact. It's not just about us. It's about so many other people. So when I sit here and I see all of the hunger, all the people that live in communist countries that are ran by these evil dictators that just don't give a crap, when I see people that see someone on the streets and they can just kick someone when they're down, or not give a helping hand to your neighbor, or not give a helping hand to anyone, but think anyone. They just live in their own little bubble and care about their own space. I'm not saying there's a huge homeless problem. I'm not saying that you have to help every homeless person or that it has to be a homeless person. I'm just saying there's so many people out there that care about how they look to others. They care more about what other people think than actually saying, not following the crowd, not following, because I bet you a lot of people right now that are being entitled, spoiled brats, that are claiming that they're against, all these things that they're writing against, like Black Lives Matter and stuff. I bet you half of them don't even really believe it. They're just too scared to death to speak out. They're too scared to death because they see what happens when you do speak out, or they just want to look cool. They want so badly to be accepted. But if we all just actually start opening our eyes and paying attention to what is going on around us and not have our blinders on, we might actually see this world has so much potential, and we are single-handedly running it into the ground. And we are all going to end up being dead or souped up on Prozac to try to maintain some shred of happiness. It's sad that we have to struggle and search so hard to find our happiness when we live in such a beautiful, beautiful world. And unfortunately, there are areas of this world that aren't so beautiful because of the things happening in it. But they could be. They once were. They could be. There are areas that are just riddled with poverty that could be beautiful again if its citizens could actually take over and say, we are not allowing you to do this to us anymore. But unfortunately, that citizens are so small and they can't do anything against these huge, powerful people. So they need our help. They need other people to rally. And we all just need to be helping each other and saying, you know what? You're right. Let's just all take our shit back and help each other. We have proven what going against each other can do. We're seeing it. We're seeing what pinning each other against one another does. We're seeing it firsthand right now, and nothing good is coming of it. Nothing. What are we getting out of it? We're all having heart attacks, high blood pressure, obese, exhausted, insomnia. We are all having panic attacks. We're all depressed. We're suicidal. I don't think happy is something that people describe themselves as anymore. And how sad is that? Because we should be happy just that we woke up and took a breath. But that's hard to say to a starving child. They probably wish death upon themselves because they're starving and in pain from being so hungry and so skinny. And their poor little bones can barely, they can barely stay awake. It's a struggle for them just to keep their eyes open. And what are we doing over here? Complaining because someone didn't call you the right pronoun? There are people that don't have clean drinking water, and you're complaining about not being able to use the women's bathroom when you have a penis. We have governments that have completely neglected and let down its citizens, and its citizens are starving. And you're going to worry about being able to compete against women as a man? I don't think so. I mean, you have that right to complain, but I have the right not to listen to you. I have the right to say, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Go call someone that gives a shit because I'm not it. And start realizing that if you're healthy and you're breathing, then you need to shut up and start being more grateful for what you do have. If you're not living in some communist country, which is what we're about to become, you should be more grateful at the opportunities at your feet. It's just become a world where we rely on, it's weird. It's like we have this thing where we rely on everyone else because we rely on the government and we rely on other people to bail us out. We rely on other people's money, other people's pity, other people's weaknesses, and we prey upon those. But yet we also claim that we want individuality and that we're so strong and we're so brave. There's nothing brave and strong about using others, about stepping on people to get to what you want, about throwing a temper tantrum to get your way, about manipulating people. That's not brave and strong. You're complaining about things. That's not brave and strong. If you live in America, you really don't have a whole lot to complain about. You can complain about how our system is ran right now, but we also need to have a solution and we need to do something about it. If we're going to complain, then we need to fix the issue. And I don't like this whole pitting all of our countries against each other. It's just sad to me. Again, I just keep thinking about community and my neighbors and how much my neighbors have helped me out and didn't expect anything in return, but that maybe if or when they need assistance, that I'm there for them in the same way. When we had an ice storm here, we all looked out for each other. We all made sure that each and every one of us had what we needed. We have a neighbor that runs an excavation company, and we had a whole bunch of trees blocking in and out of the street we live on. You couldn't go anywhere. And he went through and he and a bunch of our neighbors that had chainsaws went through and cut those trees so that people could drive. Now, we ended up not being able to drive because it was icy and it was slippier than crap and you couldn't drive on it. But still, they went through and removed those trees. We just all went around making sure that each other was okay. And that's what we need to start doing again, making sure that we are okay, making sure that we have each other's back and that we are okay. It's important that we look out for one another because you never know when you're going to need it yourself. You never know when you're going to have a hurricane or a fire or a tornado. You never know when you might be suffering. And if you're not going to help others, it's not really fair then that other people help you out. What are you doing for others? What are you doing to make your community better, to make your city better, to make your state better, to make your world better? What are you doing? What am I doing? I try to volunteer as often as I can. Right now I'm volunteering to walk a dog for someone that is not capable. She's an elderly woman. She's a senior citizen, so I walk her dog for her. I also volunteer by helping out in memory care facilities. I used to go in there all the time. I haven't in a while, and talk to the people and give them company. I have volunteered by going out and passing out blankets and tarps to the homeless. I have volunteered by donating at Christmas and at Thanksgiving food and toys and clothes. But I've also helped my neighbors whenever my neighbors have needed assistance. I've been there in the middle of the night for my friends. I'm not trying to toot my own horn and go, I'm a great person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I do practice what I preach. However, that said, I haven't done a lot of those things in a while. I got caught up in my own stuff, and I can use that excuse all the time, even if it's true. It is true that I'm very busy. It is true that I don't have really any free time. It is true that I don't sleep and I'm exhausted. It is true that I'm going through a lot. I can't spread myself too thin. I do need to take care of myself. We all need to take care of ourselves also, in addition to taking care of others. In addition to taking care of others. So it is important that we take care of ourselves. It is important that we put our own oxygen mask on first, but that we also turn around and look around and see what's going on around us. But as much as you may be busy, tired, exhausted, we do need to take care of that so we can take care of others. But then we also need to figure out whether it's something very, very minor, like just calling a friend to check in on them, whether it's going next door and offering to walk a dog for somebody or go run an errand for someone. I just feel it's important that we do stuff for others once in a while because we never know when we're going to need it. I mean, we shouldn't do it because we're wanting something as a favor in return. I don't mean that. I just mean it's good to scratch each other's back to help each other out. It's just what we should all be doing. If we did more of that, God, imagine. It's the whole pay it forward thing, you know? I do that a lot too. I love going through coffee shops and getting the person coffee that's behind me because that's happened to me. All these things have happened to me, and it meant so much to me when people have done that. I have so much support from people, and every time someone has ever helped me out, it meant the world to me. So I just hope that we can all look around, see what we have to be grateful for, and then also allow ourselves to be angry and upset over the things that we have a right to be angry and upset about. Allow ourselves to have a bad day, but then also look around and say, okay, I've had my temper tantrum. I've had my pity party. I'm entitled to it. I deserve it. Now what's the solution? What can I control? What can't I control? And also, what can I do to help someone else not feel this way, the way that I'm feeling? What can I do to help someone not feel how I'm feeling right now? And what can I do to help myself not feel this way? Self-care is important, as well as caring about other people besides yourself. Anyway, I am hoping that wherever you are, if you're suffering and you're going through anything, no matter what it is, that you have support, that you have a community, whether that community is your family or your friends, your coworkers. I just hope you have support. I hope you have someone that you can talk to, someone that can help you, someone that can stay up at night and listen to you and let you vent. It's just so important to have that. And I'm very grateful that I do. Anyway, gosh, I don't know if that's depressing. Feels like I do a lot of depressing things, but that's not my intention. I don't want people to leave here going, well, I'm depressed. That's not it. I am just thinking. These are just the things. I'm being honest about the things that keep me up. I'm being honest about the things that I think about that weigh on my mind. And, you know, I just like to talk about them, kind of like an audible diary, right? Well, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. I hope that wherever you are able to do something for yourself and for others. And again, I am grateful to each and every one of you that tune in and actively choose to listen to me. That's amazing. I love it. I love that you make the choice. No one's holding a gun. Well, maybe someone is. I hope no one's holding a gun to your head. I hope no one's forcing you. It's like some Chinese torture, and they're like, tell me about your government, or I'll make you listen to Ramblings of an Insomniac. I'll do it. Okay, I'll cough up everything. It's like some kind of, instead of waterboarding, it's like people use my podcast as torture. I hope that's not the case, but hey, whatever. As long as people are listening, I don't want people to be tortured, but I hope that you're listening because you want to. I hope you're listening because for whatever reason, you like what I have to say. I appreciate that. Tell my kids that. They never like what I have to say. Can you pass that on to my children? They very rarely like to listen to what I have to say. But I am grateful. Thank you. It is a beautiful day in August, and I don't know if it's winter or summer where you are, but I hope it's a beautiful day, and I hope that you are positive. You can find something positive in the world and share that with your neighbor. Thank you again for listening to the Ramblings of an Insomniac. Until next time.